by the power of Grayskull.
Hello, this is just a quick review for God of War, the new one. I went and got it traded in UFC 3 and I got this, paid a couple of quid towards it and got it brand new, so it's not that bad price wise. It's still top range. I mean, it's 48 quid in the shops I think, which is a bit steep like, but if you just want to wait like I did, you know, it's doable to get. It's not out of the price range of if you're saving up and stuff. But first of all, I mean, the graphics are absolutely amazing. They really are good, like the way the light shines on the water and the mud, and you can hear the sound effects as well. They're really good. You can hear like the crunch or the crud of the snow under your feet as you're walking around and splashing through water and stuff, and all the background noises like the trees like creaking in the wind, and you know, just loads of shit like that. It just all adds to the immersive feeling of like being in the game. You've got your son on this one, and he fires his arrows, and you can command him like when to shoot, or you can aim at something and then command him to shoot that specific thing. So it's just like he's like a little sidekick basically. But you've got your hard R1 attacks. You've got your, like, you know, your primary and your light and your heavy. R1's your light, R2's your heavy. You've got X as evade, circles to pick stuff up, and like action button like pull levers and shit. Squares to make your son shoot. And triangles to recall your axe, because you can like throw it wherever you want and it'll stick into stuff, and then you can like press triangle and it recalls it, like Thor's hammer, which never gets old. You always, you know, like you never get bored of doing that. It's class. And it comes in handy when you're doing puzzles and shit, and you can like lock mechanisms into place while you go and pull the other lever and stuff like that. This is the first boss that you come across. I've only been playing it for about 2 hours, and because of the difficulty I've got it on, I just resorted to throwing my axe at him constantly to get the last bit of health down, because I didn't want to chance getting killed when I was so close to killing him. So I was just, because normally you'd like get your son to distract him with his arrows, and then when he turns around you get stuck into him and just avoid his attacks. Circles climb and like vault over logs and stuff, but it only lets you jump when you have to jump like that. Like you can't just jump like willy-nilly. You have to have like a little circle prompt like that in order to be able to jump, which is a bit shit. Like you should be able to jump anywhere you want and practice and like explore, but it just makes you doing any unnecessary kind of exploring, because you can only jump at certain points, so you learn where the boundaries of the game are, like the invisible walls. In the combat, like I say, L1's to block. If you time it perfectly, you do like a parry where it like bounces them back for a bit and leaves them vulnerable. Every time you get like face a new enemy, it'll appear in your bestiality book. It's a bit like The Witcher kind of thing, if you've ever played The Witcher. But it's the same with puzzles and anything new. You have to go and look in your codex. You smash all the barrels and that. Smash like everything you can really, and you'll reveal little like potions, like health potions that you need to drink, and you can find silver and stuff to like spend. Obviously I've never had a chance to upgrade yet. I've never really looked into it. This is literally just my first impressions. You know, like I've played it for about 2 hours or something, so it's literally right at the very beginning. And this is like the second boss that you come across, and he's like, I think he says he's like a god's brother. So he's like, he doesn't, like he's saying there, he doesn't feel any pain, so it doesn't matter how much you pummel him in the face or whatever, it's like he just doesn't affect him whatsoever. So it's hard to fight against him because he's invulnerable. But like I say, this is like the third stage of this fight. It goes on for ages, and you've got to keep working those gold bars all the way down, and when you get down to the bottom it just goes into like a long cutscene, and then you continue the fight like this. So I've been fighting them for a while. But there's only 2 attack buttons with Kratos. You've only got R1 and R2, so it's about just mixing them up really. R2 flips them up into the air so you can juggle them, and then you just R1, R1, R1. If you time your L1s correctly like that, it does give you a chance to get stuck in and do some more damage. You've got your evade with X, and you've got the chance to like move out the way, and also you can stagger enemies. If you hit them in the back especially, they've got 2 health bars. One of them's the actual health, the other one's like the stamina for the, you know, like to knock them dizzy. So once you've done that, you can press R3 and grab them, and you like rip them apart and shit like that, or you like stamp on the head and like, you know what I mean, obliterate the head like a watermelon. But it's just that kind of thing. And once you've learnt the combat, it's doable. But when you first put it on and play, you're just getting your ass kicked all the time, because you've got to, I mean, you can lock onto your enemy as well, but you get the chance to, you know, like do your own way of combat, which is good, because the God of War games are notorious for just button bashing, where you're just hammering square and triangle and you're doing all these fantastical like attacks, whereas this, it's a bit more measured. You've got to take your time, you've got to realise what you're trying to do, look for your opening and get stuck in. Do you know what I mean? So it's, I mean, it's not amazing combat, it's not the best thing ever, I mean, it's been done before loads of times, but this kind of combat suits this kind of game. In the over-the-shoulder camera, it does get on your tits sometimes, because like the graphics keep getting in the way and you can't really change it. But as first impressions, I would say it's amazing. Graphics, everything class, I'm really enjoying it. So if you like the look of this, then I would definitely go out and get it. Maybe just wait until it comes down in price a bit, you know, and you get it a bit cheaper. But that's it really. See you there.
You are a smelly pirate hooker.